The most dangerous myth in spirituality. If you have ever thought that either you or the world needs to change, then you will have to watch this video. Why you are already in the exact place where you need to be and what snowflakes have to do with this will be revealed. Whether you keep watching this video or you continue browsing mindlessly through your feed, you are right where you are supposed to be. But who am I to talk about what's right or wrong? My name is Christian, I'm a person of the path, a friend of the way, and I have been practicing Zen meditation for the past few years. And now I'm sharing ancient meditation wisdom in an easy to understand way to inspire your spiritual journey. Something is fundamentally wrong with reality. We don't have to be smart to understand this, and most of us have probably already had this thought when we were kids, especially when we were young and we looked at the grown-ups who were supposed to be wiser and more intelligent than us kids. Many of us were deeply disappointed. I can remember that when I was a young child, I had the thought of not wanting to become an adult. First, because being a kid is way more fun, and secondly, because when I looked at how adults lived, it just didn't appeal to me. Not only because of the boring work they had to do, but because even back then I could sense that most people didn't really have any agency in their lives. They just did whatever they were told to do or what was supposed to be normal, and they had weird ways of going through their lives, trying not to stand out too much. And just looking at them, I always had a strong sense that I knew better. It's not difficult to look at the outside world and come up with the conclusion of, wow, that's crazy. Especially when we are on a spiritual path, we tend to look at the outside world as being completely wrong. If the whole world would just recognize that we are all one and the same being, there wouldn't be any need for wars and other stupid stuff. And it's not even about big matters like politics. Even small and unimportant matters keep our minds busy with judgment. Why does this person drive like an idiot? Or why doesn't this person get what I'm trying to say? I guess there are hundreds of situations we come across each day where we unconsciously judge a person, the world, and everything in between. And of course, in each of these situations, we know better. We just compare what is with what should be, and right there we have judgment. Although we are supposed to have less judgment when we are on a spiritual path, it's possible that it even increases. We are not only judging the world and how unenlightened it is, but we also judge ourselves for every shortcoming that we become aware of. Becoming more mindful means becoming aware of our misdeeds and the ways we behave that are not really ideal. Oh no, I was in delusion again, even though I'm supposed to be all-knowing awareness 24/7. We become frustrated with ourselves and the world simply because we compare what is with what should be. We look at any given situation and immediately come up with an alternate scenario, which we judge to be more true than what's actually happening right in front of our eyes. No wonder that we suffer. And if I were to try to propose a solution to this problem, I would create another alternate scenario that I want to impose over what is. Instead, I want to propose a radical new way of looking at things. And in order to do that, I want to share a Zen story that came to my mind when I contemplated this topic. Over 1,000 years ago in China, there was a Zen practitioner whose name was Layman Pang. Unlike most of the other Zen practitioners, he decided not to become a monk, but to live as a householder, a layman. And he demonstrated that enlightenment and spiritual practice is accessible to everybody, no matter if they live in a monastery or not. And this might sound trivial, but back then, It was unheard of for a layman to be as enlightened as the Zen masters who dedicated their lives to living and practicing in a Zen monastery. And because of his profound understanding of Zen and his deep enlightenment, he was respected by the other Zen masters of his time. So one day, after having visited the Zen temple, he decided to leave. And the master of this temple instructed some monks, some students of him, to escort him to the temple gate. And at that time, snow was falling. And when he was going to the gate with the other monks, he simply pointed to the falling snowflakes and said, "The snow is wonderful. Each flake lands in the same place." The story continues, but I decided to focus only on this part. So he said, "The snow is beautiful. Each flake lands in the same place." And before I continue, you may want to take a few moments to reflect on what he said. The snow is so beautiful, each flake lands in the same place. So there are many snowflakes falling from the sky, each with a different form, shape, and size. And yet, every flake, according to Layman Pang, lands in the same place. So, what is this same place each of them lands in? If we look at it from our narrow, rational minds, this doesn't make any sense. Firstly, the snowflakes don't land in the same place. They land here and there and everywhere else, but not only in one and the same place. And actually, they even land in the wrong places. For example, on the car, on the parking lot, or on the sidewalk. And based on the place they are landing on, we can judge them as good or bad. However, this way of thinking will only lead us to the same issue I've described before. We look at something and immediately judge it. We compare what is with what should be. And this is exactly why I think Layman Pang's statement is so profound. Although each snowflake is its own thing with its own appearance and own characteristics, it will land in the same place. No matter if we judge it as good or bad, desirable or not desirable, or anything else, it will land in the same place. So how does this relate to our lives? A war will land on the same place as the peaceful picnic with your family. The holiest person you can conceive of lands in the same place as the most despised criminal. Your moments of delusion land in the same place as your highest realizations. So what is this same place? I could now try to give you an explanation, maybe call it Buddha nature, or compare it with pure awareness or whatever. But this would be just another snowflake landing in the same place. I could also translate it to the saying, everything is perfect as it is. But again, this would be just another snowflake. Zen is not about coming up with an eloquent answer or explanation to this question. Even if you had an answer a few moments ago, it's already rotten by now. Already a thing of the past. Zen is about meeting the moment where it is. But before we can even answer this question, we need to ask ourselves where the moment is at. And we can't do that as long as we judge everything. If we view the world through a lens of good and bad, we won't see the full picture. We won't see reality as it is. And if we are questioning and judging things that have already happened, how are we even supposed to meet the moment? This also applies to ourselves when we judge ourselves for judging everything. Even our judgments are just snowflakes landing in the same place. To deny our judgments would be like fighting a battle which we can't win. And it's not about defeating our judgments, or anything of that sort. It's about seeing everything as it is. A judgment is a judgment. That's it. So don't try to fight the snowflakes. I mean, imagine someone standing out there during a snowfall trying to fight falling snowflakes. You would probably think that this person is completely and utterly insane. And yet, we are doing it all the time. Although everything lands in the same place anyway, we still try to fight what we dislike, and even during our meditation, we fight our thoughts and feelings. And I don't know where you are right now, but here it's snowing. I'm going to take a walk to enjoy seeing the snowflakes fall into the same place, all while I keep walking straight on my path. And I hope you do the same. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more updates so that no snowflake gets left behind. Also make sure to check out my website in the description below and subscribe to my free newsletter. With that being said, I wish you peace and clarity on your journey. All the best, your friend of the way. Bye.